5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3 and 10. Check results. You remember?
Look, man, you know, uh, today's guest is somebody very special. Uh, somebody I love very much. So, kind of just want you guys to know that. Today's guest is Bobby Lee. So I've been working on my Theo Von. It's not very good, and it's fun to do though. Why am I dressed in a coat when I'm indoors? Don't know. I had the plan to walk the dog. Didn't end up walking the dog. Here I am. Dog is over there. Not walked. I'm a bad person. Bad owner. I don't like saying owner. It feels bad, but that's the word for it. I do technically own you. I mean, she doesn't seem to care, to be fair, but does feel a little bit. I mean, I do own you. If you try to escape, I use the words escape. You don't use the words escape for people who aren't prisoners. You know what I mean? That being said, it's for her own safety. Anyway, what am I doing now? 138. 138. I don't drink coffee. I'm a hot chocolate drinker, and what coffee does to other people, it does to me. Not that I'm not saying in terms of don't talk to me before I've had my morning hot chocolate. That would be insane to have a hot chocolate every morning. For what purpose? I don't know. Just out of addiction maybe. But what I am saying is it goes straight through me. I need to shit. And I just had a full cup of Joe. Where's my mug? No, it's not near me. I can't really easily grab it. It is huge, Typically normal sized mugs. And I just kind of kept saying, get me a bigger mug, please. I'd start asking for it for like Christmas and stuff. Everyone will be opening up their Xbox, so they'll be opening up their, their new iPad Pro or whatever. And I'd get my mug, and I'd just be there, just sort of overjoyed. Just big mugs. I just love a big mug, It started off with a Sports Direct mug, and I just thought, this is great. This is brilliant. You can just have huge drinks in here, cereal if you're feeling crazy. And then it kind of just turns to let's just keep pushing the boundaries. How far can we go? And, my current mug, a lot of people would argue it's too much already, but I want to go further. I want a mug that's like a paint bucket. I just want to keep going. I just love a big mug. You can't go wrong, Small mug, you can only have small drinks. Big mug, you can have big drinks, small drinks. Yeah, it's going to feel shallow in there, but, versatility. Love a big mug. If I could like happily, maybe not happily, it wouldn't be the easiest life, but have like one knife, one fork, one spoon, and one mug. Yeah. No, you know what, actually? No, I wouldn't be happy if I had one knife, one spoon, one fork. It'd just be long. But what I will say, let me rephrase this, is I would be, if you said to me, you can only keep one like bit of cutlery that isn't actual cutlery, like a plate, a bowl, a mug. I would happily have like just a big mug. Don't need a plate, don't need a bowl. I can just put it in the mug, You can put stuff in mugs. You can just chuck chicken nuggets. They can go in a mug. Cereal that can go in a mug if it's big enough. You're not thinking big enough. I knew this wasn't even worth putting on to you guys because I just knew you guys wouldn't be open to it. I just knew it. Some people, they get it. Mug people get it and not mug people don't. Like, I'm looking at a mug over there, which is kind of a normal sized mug, and it's just like, it looks like a fucking, little, what are they called? The thing that goes in your thumb when you're knitting. Thumbelina is the story. Thumb cap? I don't know. Basically, so they're looking like a shot glass because that mug ain't right for me, That mug, it's got branding on it that says big mug, and even I'm looking at it now thinking it's a little bit pint sized, I want a mug like a dustbin, you know what I mean? A wheelie bin. I know, we're getting crazy. I remember TGF Bro did a video once where they made like a massive cup of tea or hot chocolate in a wheelie bin, and I'm unironically looking at that like, that's a meal. Make that for me. I'm not going to swim in it. I'll just make it for me. I always think that if I got rich, I wouldn't do dumb purchases, as in like Rolexes or like sports cars. But now I realise I would. I would be buying wheelie bins of hot chocolate and just like, 6 foot big custard creams and just go into town. What was he actually meant to be going on about? Oh, yeah, MGK dissed Jack Harlow. MGK dissed Jack Harlow, and when you look through the replies on Twitter, it's like they're so 50-50. Some people are like, well, MGK can really rap though. Like MGK really in his bag though. Yo, MGK really don't get enough credit. Like the man's versatile. He's in his pop punk and he's in his freaking raps, dude. Dudes can rap, underrated. You know. I know people just saying it was straight up shit, and I lean more shit side. First ever known about MGK when he dropped the Eminem diss, which I can't remember what it was called. But I quite liked the diss. I thought the diss was good enough. It was like funny enough. Had funny bars in there. He was punching up obviously, and then kind of got dissed back, and then just became this kind of I love emo stuff. You know, Megan Fox, cutting ourselves, knives, blood, drinking each other's blood, or whatever those tweets. So I can't even remember how they were crazy there. And yeah. Oh yeah, God, I'm not even getting into it. Why did he diss Jack Harlow? Well, white on white crime. Jack Harlow was like, what did he say? I'm the hottest white boy since the one that ripped about bomber and sweaters and held the count, cause I promise that I'm honestly better than whoever came to your head right then. They ain't cut from the same thread like him. They ain't studied, done work like him. They ain't toss and turn in the fucking bed like him, cause they don't love it. That's right, I already know the words. It's a catchy little tune, which I think is an important thing to note here. Obviously, MGK is like, whoa, did someone just dare say they're the best white rapper since Eminem when it's obviously me? You know, he got on his favourite little hat, walked outside into the back garden and thought, let's do some disses. And like, I think maybe, like, I feel like what MGK done is appeal to 13-year-olds, like equally appeal to 13-year-olds and 35-year-olds. No, sorry, that's too young. 13-year-olds and like 55-year-olds, because it's just like, I don't know, putting together a bunch of sentences where you make a bunch of like, first of all, he had a bar in there where he said he done a bar and he was like, that last bar just went over your head, and it's like, that is a pet peeve of mine when rappers make a bar that isn't even that clever. I can't remember what the bar was, but isn't even anything insane. And even if it is insane, don't do this, you know, and then be like, oh, that last bar just went over your head, like, and then say something that goes overhead. His choice of words, Aang's avatar arrow, which goes over his head. And it's just like, just because you make every single line a little simile or a little like metaphor, a little double entendre, a little whatever you want to call it. It's like, yeah, I did that in English class as well in year 6. Like, people get so gassed about that stuff even when it's not even that clever. Like, if you just say something like, you know, that last bar went over your head like Aang's arrow does. Like, whoa, Jack Harlow doesn't drop bars every line. And it's just like, yeah, but sonically, sure, MGK's doing wordplay after every line. But can I listen to his music? You know, I remember YouTube rapper, what's his name? Oh God, I can't believe I've forgotten his name. I don't remember it. He was like around when there was like beef between like Randolph and all these people. This is quite niche. You kind of have to know what I'm talking. I think I want to say it's Crypt, but it doesn't sound right. But I think it is Crypt. But for some reason, it doesn't sound right. And he was kind of just hooked in this whole like, no, I'm the best. Like, I had this kind of similar thing going on. White people were arguing about who's the best, right? And he was like, no, you're not better than me. Like, I'm clearly better than people. I'm gonna put out this like verse where I like spit really, really fast and like say a bunch of wordplay stuff in there where it's like you really got to know really specific, you know, references to get it, and you got to go on Genius, and it's like there's something to that, of course, but you got to be able to do both. Like, you know, Lil Wayne will have like really clever bars in there, but then also just sound like a listenable song. And I remember Crypt, he was like, I hope his name is Crypt, like, you just couldn't get your head around. It's like, I mean, on a more like known example, which everyone knows about, with Eminem, where it's like he just can't understand why people like the music they like these days. And it's like, but I'm spitting this fast and I'm saying all these bars. And even MGK said it himself when he dissed him. It's like, what did he say? we get it, and we know you're the greatest rapper alive. Fucking dweeb. All you do is read the dictionary and stay inside. And it's like, it's true, dude. Like, I don't. He's like making fun of like, you just like read the dictionary to find words that mean other words that you can use in a sentence as a bar or something, and it's like, it's just lame. You're just spouting off a bunch of like words diarrhea, and it's not actually a good sounding song, you know. And just like, they don't love it. How many bars in there are actually like bars, you know, not just lines, but like bars that mean something else, and like it's clever wordplay? Maybe like 2 or 3. But would I rather listen to Jack Harlow rap, or would I rather listen to MGK rap with just like sort of bored? Like, the actual diss as well was they call you Jack, man, you jacked, Drake's flow. And I don't, surprise, surprise, I don't actually listen to enough Drake, but everyone says that is the case, so it must be true. Very, very heavily influenced by Drake. And which is crazy, I don't listen to Drake more than if that is the case, because I like Harlow. And if Harlow is basically a copy of Drake, then I don't know why I just never go into the Drake thing, but I guess I just missed that train, and when I miss trains I rarely get on at a later station. But what was I gonna say? Sorry, that's a disgusting sound to do right in your ears. Yeah, like if, like, what I'm trying to say is, if you are taken or heavily inspired by Drake's flow, at least you've got a good flow then. Like, like MGK's flow is just so like non-existent. It is no flow. It's just like saying the lines, and what I'm meant to be getting gassed off of is the fact that the lines are like double entendres or mean something else. It's like, I'm not being funny. That's not that impressive. Like, you literally learn how to do this stuff in like English, doing your GCSEs. Like, oh, this word means this, but this word also means this. Homophones or whatever, you know. And it's just like, it's not. And I'm not fully against it. Like, the reason Drake's verse on Churchill Downs is better than Jack's verse is because, you know, both verses sound good, but Drake's one is just also a lot technically better, and therefore makes it way more fun as well. And in rapping, obviously, technicalness is important, I guess. But I'm not like a rap guy. I'm not a rap head. I'm not a huge rap fan. I don't know fuck about rap, but you know, that is something that's important. And Jack's bars didn't really have that, but MGK hasn't got the ability to make a good sounding song with also good bars. So I don't know. I feel like that matters. It's not just about writing clever bars that makes you the best. Because if we're actually living in a world right now where the current best alive white rapper, because obviously everyone's gonna say Mac Miller, so alive, since Eminem, is MGK. Like, is this? Would everyone be happy to exist in that world where that is actually the true case of actual life we live in, where it's MGK? Don't we want it to be Jack Harlow, at least? Whether you think it's, don't you just want it to be? I can't imagine Jack dissing someone or putting out disses and stuff, or doing like a diss track, or I can imagine him putting like a bar in like a new song or something. But it'd be interesting to see what he does, if he replies or whatever. But we'll see. Yeah, I was watching football just before this, sipping my hot choco. God, that was a really ickish thing I just did, wasn't it? I don't care. City, Real Madrid, 1-1. I'm really nervous about just the league in general with Arsenal. Like, they beat Newcastle, I didn't really think much of it, but then the reaction online was like really big. Like, they're back in the fight all of a sudden because they're within a point, and City do have a game in hand, but now all of a sudden I'm just scared again. Like, it felt like not long ago, it kind of felt like, oh, it's over, Arsenal bottled it now and it's done. And now all of a sudden, just because they beat Newcastle, it's kind of just like, oh, I'm scared shitless again. Like, City are going to play a relegation battling team. I shouldn't be nervous, but it's like, it's Everton who do things when they can mess things up, you know. Like it's like Goodison Park. They just beat Brighton, who are very good, 5-1 or 5-3. No, it was 5-1. The other game was 5-3, I think. Was it? I don't remember the score. They beat them by 5 goals, which is just, no, it was 5-1. Sure, I don't remember. It was 5-1. And like, I'm just so, I'm genuinely thinking about it most hours of the day, that game. And I just need, I mean, on the same day, Arsenal play Brighton, which is a hard game, but they are at home, and I don't know. I just need City to win. Obviously, it'd be great if City win and Arsenal lose. That'd be perfect, but I just need City to beat Everton, and I know Everton are capable of a little upset, a little home fans get behind them off the back of a win. They might feel up for it. Players feel a bit more confident. Obviously, I wanted Real Madrid to beat City. I don't want City to win the Champions League, but I kind of was happy when City equalised, because it's like, okay, they're not going to... They clawed something back. They're not going to go into the game against Everton like off of the back of a loss, because I don't know how I would have felt about that. It's just a lot of things. Like, this is a really stressful time. Like, I remember the last time I was this stressed about something that wasn't Chelsea related was when Spurs... And it was nowhere near as much stress because it wasn't towards the end of the season, but around Christmas time when they were top of the league with Mourinho, and I just thought, no, this isn't actually going to happen, is it? But now this is a little different. This is Arsenal, and it's like we're like 3 games out from the season being done, and they could win it, and it's very serious and it's very real, and it very much could happen. And I don't want to live in the world where that happens. I really don't, man. Oh, it's gonna suck so bad. Like, all which is required though is if City win 3 of their last 4 games, which based off their form they very much should. Like, it would take basically City at this point boiling it from the position they're now in to lose it. So as much as I'm like scared of the fact that Arsenal could refind form and then win it all of their games, it doesn't matter, because City, it's in City's hands. As long as City win 3 of their final 4 games, which they very much should do, and when I say it like that, it makes sense and I shouldn't be scared, but at the same time I am, because anything can happen and I'm terrified, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. And yeah, this was 138. I'll see you on 139.
And I have like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. Like,